Is this the video I expected to be making today? No. Am I absolutely stoked to be making it? Yes. So my husband and I were at the grocery store doing grocery shopping as responsible adults are wont to do. I came across this beautiful little section that I guess I've always known was there, and I make fun of it, but today something about it grabbed me, and I think it had something to do with the fact that I'm like, that would be a great video, because sometimes you really do just want to pick up something cool to read. And I know that what grocery store novels are really good at is like punchy stuff that's fun to read, quick fiction, easy to pick up. So I wanted to pick some up because it was on sale, and I can never pass up a sale. So we're just gonna go through my grocery store haul, my Ralph's Books haul. I don't know how to say that. Actually, before I get into the books, first thing I noticed in the selection was there was a lot of Nora Roberts, a lot of James Patterson. I know that's kind of what bookstores are kind of known to carry, especially Nora Roberts, but I was watching a booktube video a couple days ago and somebody said that Nora Roberts is one of their favorite authors. I'm like, okay, I'll give her a shot. There was a 3-part series, Nora Roberts series, and at first I could only find the first and the second one. I'm like, well, that kind of sucks. I can't get all 3 of them, but then I found the first one. So I bought the first one, which I'll show you, and if I like the first one, then I'm happy to buy the second 2 and I can just review the whole series. I also noticed that there was a surprising amount of historical fiction. So I think that's kind of in right now, but then specifically Nazi era historical fiction, which I thought was oddly specific. So I don't know if maybe there's some reason why that's in vogue right now, but I noticed that there was a couple of books that were about women living during that time in Germany. I used to love romance novels. Like, I used to read romance novels all the time, like early 20s, I think, and I just kind of stopped. I guess maybe I felt like I was too good for them or something. I don't know, but I've missed it, and there was this really spicy looking Christmas themed romance novels. And then of course, grocery stores are always known to have those really pulp fiction-y murder mystery novels. I did get 1 or 2, I can't remember how many I got, but I got 6 books all together today. At first I just saw this like small little tower of books and I'm like, oh, that's cute. And then I saw the whole section and I got really excited. There was also an 80% off bargain books bin, and I looked through there and there was like some Danielle Steele. I think that there was some Dean Koontz. So there was like some well-known authors, but I'd already picked out my 6 books and I didn't really need any more, but they were like $4 or $5 for a book, so I thought not bad. So the foundation has been laid and we can get into the books that I actually bought. So while I was in the store, I didn't actually read the summaries like very closely, so we're gonna be discovering what books I bought together. I just kind of grabbed ones that had cute covers or maybe like authors that I'd heard of. I didn't really have a very laid in plan. It was very spontaneous. I did not have any idea that I was gonna do that, but I was already there, and we hardly ever make it to the grocery store because we are not very responsible adults. So I thought, why not? What better time than now? First book I got is called After Dark with the Duke. Very steamy, Christmas-themed romance novel written by Julie Ann Long. And the blurb on the back is, she arrives in the dead of night, a mob out for blood at her heels. Mariana Wilde, the harlot of Haywood Street. An opera diva brought low by a duel fought for her favors, but the ladies of the Grand Palace on the Thames think they can make a silk purse from scandal. They'll restore her reputation and share in her triumph, provided they can keep her apart from that other guest. Ooh, so we already know that it's like the forbidden fruit, which is my favorite. I love forbidden fruit. Coldly brilliant, fiercely honorable, General James Duncan Blackmore, the Duke of Valkirk, is revered, feared, desired, but nobody truly knows him. And he's mysterious too? Until a clash with a fiery, vulnerable beauty who stands for everything he scorns lays him bare. It's too clear the only cure for consuming desire is conquest, but their only chance at happiness could lead to their destruction. The legendary Duke never dreamed love would be his last battleground. Valkirk would lay down his life for Mariana, but his choice is stark. Risk losing her forever or do the one thing he vowed he never would. Surrender. Okay, this is why I loved romance novels. So fun. I don't mind cheesy, I just want well written. Okay, so the next book that I got, I believe this is a murder mystery. Yes, it is. The Wives by Taryn Fisher. There's a little thing on here from Colleen Hoover, who I know like everybody's super obsessed with right now. Have not read any of her work, but maybe I should. Book Talk made me do it. So this book was 30% off. That's why I chose it. Imagine that your husband has 2 other wives. I mean, come on. The scene is ripe for, what's that word? Jealousy. You've never met the other wives. None of you know each other. And because of this unconventional arrangement, you can see your husband only 1 day a week. But you love him so much you don't care. Or at least that's what you've told yourself. But one day while you're doing laundry, you find a scrap of paper in his pocket, an appointment reminder for a woman named Hannah, and you just know it's another of the wives. You thought you were fine with your arrangement, but you can't help yourself. You track her down and under false pretenses, you strike up a friendship. Hannah has no idea who you really are. Then Hannah starts showing up to your coffee dates with telltale bruises, and you realize she's being abused by her husband, who, of course, is also your husband, but you've never known him to be violent, ever. Who exactly is your husband, and how far would you be willing to go to find out? And who is his mysterious third wife? Cheesy. I do not have high hopes for this one after reading that, but I will still give it a shot. This next one is called A Conspiracy of Bones by Kathy Reichs. This is a Temperance Brennan novel, and I distinctly remember I did read the blurb on the back of this one in the store, and it's a Temperance Brennan novel. She had a aneurysm, she's recovering, she's having nightmares and hallucinations, but now she's also a detective, and she's got to like go rogue and work out a side system to solve her next case. But when I read it, I was like, I think I've read this book before because it sounded so familiar, and I feel like I've read Temperance Brennan books before. Like, I think this is a series that's been around for a while. But then I looked at the publishing date here, and it says that it was published 2020. So maybe she's just recycling storylines, but I don't know. I'll read it and I'll let you know if it sounds familiar to me. The next book I got, I had to get a Nora Roberts book. It was a non-negotiable. This one is 3 Fates. I don't have any idea what it's about. When the RMS Lusitania sank in 1915, one survivor became a changed man, giving up his life as a petty thief. But the man still kept the small silver statue he lifted, saving it as a reminder of his past and as a family heirloom for future generations. I love historical fiction. I love historical nonfiction. I love historical anything, really, so I'm happy with that. A century later, that priceless heirloom, one of a long-separated set of 3, has been stolen again. And then we've got 3 people that are determined to recover their great-grandfather's treasure, reunite the 3 fates, and make their fortune. All right, Nora, let's see what you got. Okay, so this was the one that is part of a set of 3. It's book 1 of the trilogy, The Dragonheart Legacy. It's called The Awakening by Nora Roberts. And I feel like I've heard people talk about this book, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I just thought that it would be interesting if I found a series at the grocery store that I really liked. So I'm gonna give it a shot. I just bought the first one. I thought about buying the whole series, but I'm like, no, I'm not ready to invest in Nora Roberts like that yet. But I'll let you know how this one goes. This is about a girl named Breen Kelly, and when she was a girl, her father would tell her stories of magical places. Now she's an anxious 20-something marred, it's one of those words. I know how it's supposed to be pronounced, but I can't say it. Mired in student debt and working a job she hates. But one day she stumbles upon a shocking discovery. Her mother has been hiding an investment account in her name. It has been funded by her long-lost father, and it's worth nearly $4 million. Oh, so this is like a princess story. Love that. This newfound fortune would be life-changing for anyone, but little does Breen know that when she uses some of the money to journey to Ireland, it will unlock mysteries she couldn't have imagined. Here she will begin to understand where her true destiny lies, through a portal in Galway that takes her to a land of fairies and mermaids, to a man named Keegan, and to the courage in her own heart that will guide her through a powerful, dangerous destiny. Yes, please, Nora. Love that. I haven't read a book like this in a decade, so I'm ready to branch out. I'm ready to include one of these into my repertoire. And the last book I picked up is The Winter Guest by Pam Jenoff. Have never heard of this author, but this is one of the ones about Nazi-occupied Poland. 18-year-old twins Helena and Ruth are raising their 3 younger siblings in Nazi-occupied Poland. There was another book called Daughter of the Resistance that was also about Nazi-occupied territory, and there's twin girls on the front of the cover, so I thought it was the same book at first, but then I did like a double take, and that's what made me realize that there was like multiple books about Nazi occupation. Interesting. This book is Nazi-occupied Poland, where the perpetual threat of arrest has made everyone in their village a spy and turned neighbor against neighbor. Though the young women couldn't be more different, they are staunch allies in protecting their family from the threats the war brings closer to their doorstep with each passing day. Then Helena discovers an American paratrooper stranded outside their small mountain village, wounded but alive. Cute. Risking the safety of herself and her family, she hides him, a Jew, and together they make plans for the family to flee. But Helena is forced to contend with the jealousy her choices have sparked in Ruth, culminating in a singular act of betrayal that endangers them all and setting in motion a chain of events that will reverberate across continents and decades. I am down. I don't even know which book I'm going to start with first, but if you have any suggestions, recommendations, if you've read any of these books and you want to tell me which one I should start with, definitely leave a comment in the comment section. It's the only place you're allowed to leave a comment anyways, so you can't mess it up. If you like this video and you want other people to find our book club, you can go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And you can subscribe. I do lots of book hauls. Actually, I'm gonna give you a sneak peek of what's to come. These are just some of the packages that have come in because I went a little crazy online. When I get all the packages in, I'm also gonna be doing an unboxing, a package reveal, an online book shopping haul. So that's coming. If you wanna see that, definitely subscribe so that YouTube will let you know when it's here. I'll also leave a link to my social medias in the description down below for Instagram and Twitter. And with that, there's nothing more to be said. I gotta get reading. Bye!